Your alarm is set for 6:30. You haven't looked at a clock, you haven't checked your phone, but somehow your eyes open at 6:27. 3 minutes early. No sound, no light change, just awake. And here's the weird part. This doesn't happen once. It happens again and again, almost like your brain knows exactly what time it is. But how? You don't have a clock inside your skull, or do you? Think about how strange this actually is. You fall asleep, you lose consciousness for hours, your brain has no access to sunlight, no awareness of ticking clocks, no way to check the time, and yet it wakes you up right on schedule. Most people assume it's a coincidence. Maybe you just happened to wake up during a light sleep phase and your brain filled in the rest. But researchers have tested this, and what they found is far more interesting than coincidence. Your brain is actually anticipating the alarm and preparing your body to wake up before it goes off. Deep inside your brain, there's a tiny cluster of about 20,000 neurons called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. But think of it as your brain's master clock. This clock doesn't just tell time, it keeps time. It runs on a roughly 24-hour loop called a circadian rhythm, syncing everything from your body temperature to your hormone levels to when you feel sleepy and when you feel alert. But here's what most people don't realize. This clock doesn't just react to your schedule, it learns it. If you wake up at the same time every day, your brain starts to notice the pattern, and once it locks onto that pattern, it begins preparing your body for wakefulness before the alarm ever sounds. Isn't it magic? It's prediction. In 1999, researchers at the University of Lübeck in Germany ran an elegant experiment. They told 15 volunteers they'd be woken at either 6 a.m. or 9 a.m. Here's what happened. In the group that expected to wake at 6 a.m., their bodies began releasing a stress hormone called adrenocorticotropin, or ACTH, starting around 4:30 a.m., a full 90 minutes before the alarm. The 9 a.m. group, their hormone levels stayed flat until they were abruptly woken at 6 a.m., and the sudden wake-up triggered a spike of cortisol instead. That groggy, startled, heart-pounding feeling you get when an alarm catches you off guard, that's the difference between a brain that was ready and one that wasn't. This study showed something remarkable. Your brain doesn't just passively wait to be woken up. If it knows when waking is coming, it starts the engine early. And the fuel for that engine is real, measurable hormones, shifting body temperature, changing heart rate, all orchestrated hours before you open your eyes. But this raises a bigger question. How does a sleeping brain know what time it is? Here's where it gets strange. Your brain tracks time even when you're unconscious, but it doesn't do it the way a clock does. It doesn't count seconds. Instead, it uses something more like a chemical hourglass. Throughout the day, a molecule called adenosine builds up in your brain. The longer you're awake, the more it accumulates, and the sleepier you feel. When you fall asleep, your brain gradually clears it out. This buildup and clearance follows a predictable curve. Your brain essentially uses it as a rough internal timer, not precise to the minute, but reliable enough to estimate how long you've been asleep. Combine that with your circadian clock, and your brain has two overlapping systems working together, one tracking the time of day, the other tracking how long you've been out. And there's one more piece. A 2022 study published in Frontiers in Neuroscience found that people who maintain consistent sleep schedules show stronger pre-awakening hormonal responses, meaning the more regular your routine, the better your brain gets at predicting when to wake you up. Your brain is literally training itself to be your alarm clock. So the next time you wake up 3 minutes before the alarm, don't think of it as a coincidence. Think of it as proof that your brain has been quietly tracking time all night, adjusting your hormones, shifting your body temperature, nudging you towards the surface of consciousness at exactly the right moment. It's worth noting, this doesn't work perfectly for everyone. Irregular schedules, sleep disorders, and stress can all throw off the system. And scientists are still studying exactly how the brain calibrates these timing signals so precisely. But the core insight is real. Sleep isn't just your brain shutting down. It's your brain running a quiet, sophisticated operation. And part of that operation is knowing when to wake you up. You don't just wake up. Your brain decides to wake you up. And most mornings, it's already made that decision before the alarm ever gets the chance.